This is America in Space, a weekly news and information program on current events dealing with the space industry.
Welcome, and thanks for joining me today. I'm Dawn Meyer, Space Coast News Editor. The James Webb Space Telescope is showing us amazing pictures of some of the first stars in the universe with its enormous and powerful mirrors. Those mirrors were quite a challenge to create since they had to be perfectly polished and as smooth as possible to allow for the focusing of the 18 pieces of light into a single image. The technology developed by NASA through contractor Wavefront Sciences as part of the decades-long effort to bring the Webb telescope has already improved the vision of millions of people back on Earth by driving major improvements in Lasik eye surgery. Part of the process for measuring Webb's mirrors has been incorporated into Johnson & Johnson Vision's Eye Design Refractive Studio, a device that takes precise measurements of the eye to map imperfections in the visual pathways and cornea curvature to create what Johnson & Johnson calls an optical fingerprint unique to each patient's eye.
Some NASA-developed technology used during construction of the Webb Space Telescope to measure deviations in its mirrors is driving major improvements to LASIK laser eye surgery and helping to improve the vision of millions of people on Earth. Medical company Johnson & Johnson has incorporated the tech into a device that takes precise eye measurements to map imperfections in visual pathways and cornea curvature.
LASIK surgery guided by the Eye Design Refractive Studio can involve more than 1,200 measurements for individualized vision correction that is fast and safe. Here is Dan Neal, one of the designers and now a scientist at Abbott Medical Optics, to explain a bit more about the technology.
The technology that's making this telescope perfect is a highly precise sensor developed in part by this guy, Abbott scientist Dan Neal.
After their experience with the Hubble, they wanted to make absolutely certain that they had the exact right figure on these mirrors. That technology required us to measure really highly aberrated optics that had a lot of surface roughness.
Dan Neal had experience with another delicate optic with surface roughness, the human eye. He thought the same measuring technique used to correct this new telescope's mirrors could be used to better measure and correct eyes.
With the telescope, then it's grinding and polishing that mirror in a very specific way. With the eye, we use LASIK surgery to do that.
The sensor Dan Neal and his team developed was used to help create the Eye Design System, a new device for measuring a patient's eyes prior to undergoing LASIK. The Eye Design System captures 5 times the resolution of previous eye measurement technology, leading to a LASIK procedure that's more precise and completely unique to each person. The sensor features about 5,000 lenslets on it, each the width of one human hair.
So that was a different application of the same sensor, but it's the same basic concept. We can see details of the cornea and the optical system that we were never able to see before.
So today, sight on an intergalactic scale and sight on an interpersonal scale can be ensured by the same revolutionary sensor. Both of paramount importance, both in focus.
So not only is the Webb telescope bringing the universe into focus for us, it's also bringing the world into focus for LASIK patients through the Spinoff Technology Transfer Program at NASA. Thank you for joining me. Remember each Tuesday to join David Denault for America's Return to Space, and join me every Friday for America in Space. From the Florida Space Coast, I'm Dawn Meyer, Space Coast News Editor for About Space Today.
Packet boosters go. PTC is go. LPS is go.
Houston flight is go.
And stand by for About Space Today's live coverage of the Space Launch System and the Orion spacecraft to the Moon. Join us on Monday, August 29 at 8 a.m. for live coverage from the Kennedy Space Center on our YouTube channel, tinyurl.com/AboutSpaceTodayUT. That's tinyurl.com/AboutSpaceTodayUT. Join me, David Denault, and co-host Dawn Meyer, Space Coast News Editor, for America's next giant leap, our first mission to the moon since 1972. Artemis, the return to the moon to stay. Live coverage Monday, August the 29th at 8 a.m. And be sure to invite your family and friends to join us.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to share our program with your family and friends and follow us on Facebook. Join us each week for news and information on America in Space.